Here's the storefront of Hastings in the plaza. The plaza itself has been around since the 60s. Hastings, as a smaller chain, opened in 1968. I believe it opened in Cape, as did Blockbuster, PMAC Music, and Toys R Us in the 1990s. It closed due to bankruptcy in 2016. And up William Street we go to Blockbuster. I think anyone born before the early 2000s or even in the 2000s has been to a Blockbuster. Before streaming, this is where people went to get movies, and they also had video games. Streaming would lead to its demise, and it closed in 2013. A rock store away was PMAC Music. For 23 years, it was the best spot to buy CDs and records here in Cape. It opened in 1996 and closed in 2019. Downloading music most likely had a negative impact and added to its closing. The final store here is Toys R Us. The chain started in 1948. Not sure exactly when the Cape location opened, but due to bankruptcy, it closed all its locations in 2018, although in late 2022, it partnered with Macy's in specific locations, so it's still somewhat alive. Going back to Hastings, I remember going here as a kid and renting movies and games. I also remember playing the PS2 on one of the kiosks. You could find strategy guides, Pokemon cards, CDs, action figures, party items, novelties. It was a store that seemed to have anything that anyone could want. I've even seen skateboards in one of their stores, although I don't know if it was the Cape location. They also eventually started selling used games. An interesting fact I found on their Wikipedia was that at one point, they were the largest direct market comic book retailer. Hastings entertainment stretched around the Midwest and southern United States. I think the last time I was in here was when I bought my PS4 in 2016. Before the age of streaming, we went to a store that had VHSs and DVDs. You could rent movies anywhere from a day to a week. And if it was a new movie, you'd have to return it in 2 days. If you didn't return it after a month, you were forced to buy it. Once debit cards became more popular, they would just charge your card if you didn't return your item. They also had a ton of movie theater type treats at the front. I remember popcorn, candy bars, Twizzlers, sodas, anything you would normally get at a movie theater. As far as this location, I honestly can't remember the last time I was here, unfortunately. There is only one Blockbuster left. It's in Oregon, and it's also available on Airbnb. Right next door to Blockbuster was PMAC Music. I never actually went to PMAC Music since I never bought CDs as a kid, but I definitely knew of it since my older brother was really into music. He was really into PMAC Music and Schibblebines, and the store eventually rebranded as Discovery Records, but didn't last long and eventually went out of business. For 23 years, it was the spot to buy all of your music here in Southeast Missouri. My first memory of Toys R Us was getting Tekken 3 on the PS1. You would have to go up to these photos of the game and tell the clerk that's what you wanted. I think they didn't actually have the physical copy of it. That's something really unique I remember about Toys R Us. I remember also getting a shiny metallic Buzz Lightyear there. I must have been like 4 or 5. Just a random, vague memory I still have. I think my last time going to Toys R Us was when I bought The Last of Us on PS3. Maybe that was 2013. I can't remember exactly, but around that time. So in conclusion, the chain Toys R Us opened in 1948. Hastings is founded in 1968. Blockbuster in 1985. And I believe it was sometime in the 90s when these stores came to Cape Girardeau. PMAC Music opens in 1996. In 2013, Blockbuster closes. 3 years later, Hastings shuts its door for the last time. The next would be Toys R Us, followed by PMAC Music.